Hello everyone. This is my new vlog. Anyways, so I want to talk about something slightly different. I have been following Miss Marvel, and I mean the sad part is that I can't watch it because it's Disney Plus is not uh, you know they don't have it available for Pakistanis. Um, but I have been following the highlights, the reaction videos and trailers and stuff, and it seems quite interesting. I mean, uh, obviously, I'm attracted to it mainly because I can relate to it as a Pakistani, and I feel great, for Iman Milani and everything. I mean, of course, it's not the usual show you expect, and we don't have to compare it with others. It's about seeing the beauty in it, and I think that it is doing a great job so far. And just like when Harry Potter came out, uh, you know, uh, about 20 years ago, when they made the first movie and everything, and that was a great celebration for the kids. They loved the books, the movie, the merchandise, the games, and everything. And this is doing the same thing. It's, giving a voice to children, empowering the the South Asian children, and so yeah, it's a brilliant thing, you know. What I wanted to mention is that Pakistani representation has come a long way, since let's say the 90s. Before that, probably people were not really aware of Pakistan. Very few people actually knew about the country, and I mean, most people became aware of it in a negative way through the media uh, post 9/11. And so, yeah, we saw, at least what I have seen, was in this character. There was this character in the show called Seinfeld. Uh, there was this Pakistani guy who he's an immigrant and he opens a restaurant. And Seinfeld, being a nice guy, he sees that nobody's visiting that place because they're not familiar with the culture, and he sort of helps him out. So yeah, that we had this stereotype of that character, and that person, the actor who played that role, was Israeli. So yeah, we used to have these um, non-brown people uh, playing characters of Pakistani or Indian. I mean, very few people were like you would get actually a role of a Pakistani, just like we had very few people playing the role of Indians, and it's a tragedy that even now very few people are. I mean, like the actors are able to make their way abroad because of their color and everything. But anyways, that's another topic. So yeah, we have seen mostly Indian, characters, but Pakistanis, there are very few. One I remember is from this movie 40-Year-Old Virgin. And there are very few people we see, uh, um, and anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that they used to stereotype a lot, and now we are seeing, because there is a revolution going on, and basically the Pakistanis or Indians are working together, and they obviously are more aware about their culture and everything, and they want to uh, bring that on the screen. So it's being shown in a much accurate way, and we are seeing that now in Miss Marvel, and I think it's doing a fantastic job. And yeah, so it's great for people who would like to go in Hollywood or uh, c- uh, some creative industry, like even if you want to join Marvel or something, like I feel that it can open doors for many many people. And the good thing about America or UK is that, I mean, there is racism everywhere around the world. You can't say that this country is not racist. Or, I mean, there are all kinds of people, but what matters is that your talent and your passion and your sincerity. If you have these three things, if you're persistent, number four, and number five is if you remain uh, humble or grounded with you don't let it get on your head, the success and everything, that these things will take you far. What's in your destiny, that is obviously something beyond our control. But if you just see anybody who has made it big, any actor or musician or artist, they have been through hell. uh anyway, so yeah, I'm really happy for Iman Vellani, who's from Canada. um and she really deserves it, and I'm glad that she is doing this next project with Brie Larson in the Marvels, and I'm sure whatever she does, she'll be successful because she has brains, she has a great personality, and she will go a long way. She's already uh, impressing the masses, and that's a great thing. Uh, and yeah, I'm glad that Sana Amanat, who is the she's the director of character development and content at Marvel. She's one of the creators of Miss Marvel. The Kamala Khan character is based on her life, uh, of course, with some exceptions. Um, so yeah, it's really great to know that, and that Pakistani culture is being represented. Or, I mean, it's a great thing. It's not, but one thing we need to realize is that you cannot expect any character to be 100% correct, or like um, people expect somebody from a Muslim community, if they're shown in a show or a movie, he should be exactly according to their uh, perception or how they want to see that, and they start creating controversies around it, which is not the point. They don't see the whole picture, which is something that we see in the society as a whole, that we are constantly judging each other, based on our differences. And because we lack faith, we lack unity, and there is conflict going on, and people have been fighting and, dividing within their own communities, creating sects after sects. And I mean, you can see in Islamic community, we have, it was a small community 1500 years ago, and right after the death of Prophet Muhammad, uh, you know, uh, things started to get ugly, because there was politics, and people were greedy for power and knowledge and all these things. And um, of course, I am not a religious person, but coming from a Shia family, I have this, angle. This uh, I see things from a different lens, uh, and I can understand if somebody is prejudiced or conditioned in a certain way, because it's not, maybe not their fault. It's what you do that matters. Like, there's a dialogue in Miss Marvel. It's good is not what you are; it's what you do. And I feel it's so simple yet so profound, right? I mean, kids are watching it and they will be learning so much. So yeah, um, anyways, so yeah, that's what I was talking about. That how, if you look at the history, of our ancestors, if I focus on myself, like, we can go back to the, 1400 years ago, when Ashura happened, the 10th of Muharram, when Hazrat Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan were, sorry, their family, they were, they had been uh, brutally uh, murdered, and they sacrificed themselves for God, and they knew it was happening. And following those events, that sacrifice created an amplifying effect, in the universe. It was like an explosion, boom, creating this butterfly effect. Although it seems like, Yazid and his army, who were claiming to be, uh, the next, um, what do you say, like, for example, there's a prophet or an imam. They claim to basically wanted ownership, uh, over the religion, and they wanted to control people through that. And which is we are seeing still, and it has been happening. These tyrants have been there since millennia anyway. So that event, it led to the uh, rebirth of Islam, or re-emergence. It was this renaissance, if you call it that. Although we are seeing death, yet it is a new beginning. You know, uh, it's extremely melancholic and sad, but that is actually leading towards a new era. And if you notice that, uh, that event led to conversion of so many people, and it actually motivated, inspired so many people, and we have seen so many scientists and scholars from Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Hindustan. You know, people have migrated, and now coming back to that topic of like my family, just like the the character of Kamala Khan, she basically they've shown her family is they are muhajirs or basically refugees who they migrated from India during the partition in 1947. They came to Karachi, and then uh, from Karachi, they later on her parents moved on. They traveled to America or whatever. Anyway, so uh, my ancestors, I don't know uh, much about my great grandparents, unfortunately, because we don't really have information. But what I have been told, or I mean, obviously, they must have our ancestors, great grandparents. They must have migrated from Iraq, Iran, whatever. There was all the same, and they must have come to India uh, maybe 1,000 years ago, God knows, and intermingled, and maybe we belong to that same tribe or race or whatever, and it's interesting how so many people have died in the process. So much has happened that has led to my birth and this moment and what's going to happen in the future. And it's amazing how everything is interconnected. You know, uh, somewhere we do have a choice, yet we don't. So these things really, I love to think about it. And Yeah, so just like the gypsies, when we see, I mean, it's tragic how they're still treated, and there are very few left. How they migrated from Egypt to India, and all that, and but they were gifted people. That trauma, I guess, it actually it activated so much potential within them. uh, they must have gone through a process of evolution, and that they were able to they were psychics and mystics, and um, or they had all kinds of gifts, and they're still present in the world, especially in Europe, I guess. So yeah, and so it's beautiful, to see that the whole diversity and the unity and oneness that we are now seeing on television, which we probably didn't, before. As it, I mean, I haven't seen it in my lifetime. Of course, I'm still young, but in the last 30 years, mostly we have seen very one dimensional characters or storylines, and which cater the masses. And because masses are now evolving and changing, and just like 100 years ago, the world was completely different. There was no television, no radio, probably no internet, nothing. The world was so slow, but it was perfect for that era. And now in 2020s, it's a new consciousness, new dimension. We have new era, which is in itself, it's like a portal has been opened, and we are things are happening rapidly, like I mentioned before in my previous blog. Anyway, so yeah, it's when you see things, in that way, it makes life worth living. Like, um, and obviously, there will always be room for advancement and improvement. There's no limit, right? I mean, everything exists in here and now. It's just the perception that this is the past, this is the present, or the future, right? And the post-apocalyptic world, or whatever we see in the movies, it already exists, right? Like 500 years from now, probably, um, we will be, humans will probably be very few, pure human breed, and most people will be, they will be they'll be either be AI robots, or cyborgs, human and robot mixed together. And there'll be so much going on, and this is something I imagine, like, uh, it's already if you see it in a symbolic way, we are already seeing that the pure blood line, it's rare. It's like 1% maximum in this world, pure human. So, uh, and like, the consciousness is has been infiltrated and corrupt, and we are seeing that, I mean, how, uh, like, although we are the same species, yet we are different from one another. You know, we like to see ourselves in a certain way, but every person is unique. Just like we have the animal kingdom, but we have the crow and the cat and cows and whatever. And you know, within the animal kingdom, there's so many creatures who are even more advanced, mentally and physically than us, and but we don't want to accept that. What I'm trying to say is that humans are still evolving, and the evolution is happening based on a timeline. And you know there are so many dimensions that exist. Anyway, I think I will stop here for now. It was fun talking about something different. I'll be posting soon. Take care. Bye bye.